everyone, my name is Vina, aka Miss WC Reader, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm just coming at you with a quick book unhaul. So if you've been following me for a while, you know I'm always out with the old and with the new. I'm getting a lot of new books in, so it's time to get rid of some ones that I have no interest in ever picking back up again. So it's winter. I do a book unhaul at least once every season. The first one I have is Bitsy Bat's School Star. There's absolutely nothing wrong with this book. I just feel like it's so good that I need to give it away to a classroom. So it is by Kat Witness, and it teaches children about neurodiversity and that some children might need special accommodations that they don't necessarily need, but there's nothing wrong with that. And I thought that was a really beautiful message, very relatable, and like I said, I want to get it into a school. Now let's get into the ones that were not great. So we have Raiders of the Lost Heart by Joe Segura. I did a whole solo review video of this one, so you can definitely check that one out if you want to hear more about this one, but so many elements in this book just did not work for me at all. And the main characters were unlikable, and for a romance I do need them to be likable, so this one gotta go. If You'll Have Me by Uni. I thought this book was gonna be cute, but it wasn't. So I kind of have a problem with some of these new graphic novels that are being published and as YA, because one, it feels like they're only being published as YA because the characters are teen or teenish, although here it felt like they were a little bit older. I'm not exactly sure what their ages were because everybody's in college and everybody talks like 30-year-olds, but they act like middle schoolers, so that was kind of jarring. And the college was a women's college, I believe, but it seemed like it was an all lesbians college, and there's nothing wrong with like having queer representation. Obviously I went into this book because I wanted a women love women story, but like it kind of felt fanfic-ish almost in a way. And basically this character over here with the black hair was like the campus hoe, sleeping with every woman on campus, leaving tons of broken hearts in her path. And we're supposed to believe that this little girl over here, who has no experience whatsoever, can barely talk to anybody, never been kissed, just magically got her to change her hoish ways. And that also felt like a fantasy. And I just did not buy it. They had no chemistry together, and they never had a deep conversation for me to believe like that this hoe over here would retire and just decide to be monogamous with this one. Like, they were so mismatched. It felt like old school fanfic. Full Moon Over Freedom by Angelina M. Lopez. So I thought this was gonna be good. I enjoyed it at first, and then I got bored in the middle, and then I just never got interested again. She writes good sex scenes though, so I do recommend checking out her other stuff. This one, I thought it was gonna be good. I had high hopes for this one. So first of all, publishers of fantasy have been doing this thing in the past couple of years where they are taking manuscripts that were clearly written as YA, and yes, I know this one was written as YA because I found the original pitch for it, and they're picking them up for the adult publisher and publishing them as adult without changing anything about them. And then they have the nerve to be like, people aren't taking fantasy seriously that's written by women, they always assume it's YA. Well, while yes, that is a thing, the lines are now muddied because they're picking up YA manuscripts by women and they're putting them out. They feel they're not doing anything with them to bring them up to the adult level. Like, the voice is still the same, the YA tropiness is still the same. It's like giving like mid-tier YA story, and like there's just no, like, and very paint by the numbers, there's just no reason for you to keep reading this. I feel like she just threw in tropes and then decided to write a book around it. The main character was so fucking unlikable. her love interests weren't all that great. I don't understand why there was a love triangle in this, because it was so clear that she was not interested in the one guy, and she kept saying she was not interested in the one guy. And then fated mates was a thing in this book. So if we know early on fated mates is a thing in this book, why are you stringing her along with two guys? And why was she like going back and forth between kissing them? That just made no sense. And I feel like we were shown this image of this badass warrior, and actually she's against fighting. Like, completely against fighting. Supposedly they thought they were going to lose their magic if they fought and killed people. Then they find out that's not true, and still she's on her moral high horse, and it's just like, you can't kill people because then we will become as bad as the enemy. And I'm like, bitch, shut the fuck up. First of all, oppressed people should be able to fight back, and I don't like the messaging this book was giving in that. And like, again, if it's YA versus adult books are like more kind of morally loose, and we shouldn't be holding on to this strict right versus wrong like this book did. Also, I feel like she was kind of saying that interracial love can conquer all, because we're supposed to want her with the one guy because he's from the opposite race, which I did not realize he was white until I saw the commissioned fan art. I actually thought that it was like light-skinned black people versus dark-skinned black people, and then when I saw, no, it's white people, I'm like, oh, that definitely changes how some of the stuff read, and that made me uncomfortable as well. So yeah, there was just not a lot to like in this. Actually, thinking back on it, I think about how much time I wasted, because every time the book started feeling interesting, it got boring again, and I definitely don't plan on reading the sequel. 7 Days in June by Tia Williams. So, you know, this one is very hyped and very beloved, and I just don't have any interest reading it. I got this one for free from the publisher, and I just have had no urge whatsoever to pick it up. And it's funny, my mom picked it up one day, took it to work with her, brought it back the next day. So she couldn't vibe with it either. It's time for me to unhaul. This one is The Crimson Fortress. I don't know why HarperCollins sent me this book. This is a sequel to a book that I've never read, never posted about. I was completely unaware of. Like, I don't understand their logic of sending an unsolicited sequel. So that's why I'm unhauling this one. I don't know anything about this series. And then last we have Keenan Masters and the Peerless Magic Crew by Devon Sanders. This is one of those middle grade fantasies that just feel too long for the intended audience, and I didn't feel like there was enough that made it stand out compared to other stories. So like, I read it and I just left feeling kind of not good, not terrible, not great. And if it's not holding my attention, I cannot see it holding the attention of a lot of the little 10-year-olds who are struggling to read right now. So I want to go ahead and unhaul this. So that is everything that I am planning on hauling. It's a part of my winter unhaul. I might do another one later in the season. We'll see how many books I get. Let me know if you've read any of these books, and if you've watched to the end, go ahead and leave me a heart emoji. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!